everyone, happy return. Today we have a lot to unpack. It has been a crazy week in both the real world and cryptocurrency, with a $150 trillion hidden trust fund, 72 crypto ETFs awaiting SEC approval, XRP futures being live, Ethereum possibly being surpassed by XRP, and, of course, the Pope. Let's begin. $150 trillion, whether it's true or not. Let's start by discussing how this headline has received a lot of attention. A trust fund worth $150 trillion, 0 cents, is in the hands of Americans. Doesn't that sound unbelievable? I had to investigate the clip after seeing it on Easter. It is said that in 1873, Congress secretly established what is referred to as a secret trust for the American people, which is effectively a huge wealth reserve that has been expanding unchecked for more than a century. What's the real story behind that, then? As it happens, it's not money in a safe. This $150 trillion, 0 cents, is the estimated value of undeveloped natural resources, such as copper, lithium, uranium, and rare earth metals, that lie buried beneath federally held land, which makes up roughly 28% of the U.S., primarily in the West, according to former CIA advisor and financial expert Jim Rickards. Rickards contends that the lawful extraction of these resources may be made possible by a recent Supreme Court decision that overturned the Chevron doctrine. If accurate, that may have a significant impact on U.S. energy policy, job growth, and possibly your portfolio. However, we must avoid being overly excited. Americans won't be receiving checks in the mail anytime soon, even if it's true. These are assets rather than readily accessible liquid funds. Additionally, converting national parks and reserves into open-pit mines for financial gain will cause a great deal of indignation and public fury. Imagine millions of people demonstrating noisily in the streets. Because Americans value economic growth and wealth, but they also value parks, clean air, and the beauty of nature, and their beloved outdoor camping excursions as a family. XRP is the star among 72 crypto ETFs. I'm going back to crypto now. There are presently 72 ETF applications being reviewed by the SEC. A substantial percentage of ETFs are based on XRP. Yes, XRP is receiving more attention than any other altcoin. Even Polkadot and Solana Cardano are receiving submissions, but XRP is undoubtedly the main target at the moment. It's only a question of time until BlackRock or JP Morgan invest in XRP, given that BlackRock's IBIT has become the 4th most traded ETF on the market. Do you recall Larry Fink's transformation from an opponent of Bitcoin to its most ardent supporter? It was not a spiritual awakening that caused that change. Institutional demand was the reason, and XRP is currently following that similar pattern. Speaking of advancements, XRP futures were recently introduced by Coinbase Derivatives for the cryptocurrency market. That is significant. And it's another step towards widespread adoption, opening the door for wider acceptability. Every time an ETF, futures, options, or other trading instrument is introduced, it brings with it new players, volume, and ultimately actual price discovery. No, it won't happen tomorrow, but it's a significant step in the process. 6 out of 78 out of 1,000. And we've progressed progressively past the first phase. This is where things become interesting, so let's speak about Ripple. Currently, Ripple holds more than 50 money transmitter licenses in the United States, including Texas and New York. This indicates that Ripple has the legal right to use its stablecoin RLUSD and XRP to facilitate cross-border payments. Things become hot at this point. Currently, Ripple holds more than 50 money transmitter licenses in the United States, including Texas and New York. This indicates that Ripple has the legal right to use its stablecoin RLUSD and XRP to facilitate cross-border payments. While Coinbase and Circle continue to file for banking charters, Ripple is already fully licensed and out there playing 3D chess. They have established a legal moat and are not awaiting approval. What does that signify? This indicates that Ripple is in a unique position to become the custody provider for other banks and the BNY Mellon of blockchain. Standard Chartered and Deutsche Bank will not invent the wheel if they wish to provide crypto services. They're going to use Fireblocks or Ripple custody. The new infrastructure is being constructed in this manner. Due to Ethereum's error, XRP flipped ETH. Let's now tackle the most pressing issue: XRP vs Ethereum. Recently, John Deaton released a clip that was really harsh for Ethereum. He explained that because of Bill Hinman's 2018 free pass speech, Ethereum had the largest regulatory gift of any project. This significant turning point in the history of cryptocurrency gave Ethereum a distinct edge. Ethereum gained clarity from that no other smart contract platform did. Because of the regulatory clarity, Ethereum was able to outperform XRP. However, XRP's potential was demonstrated in October 2018 when it momentarily overtook Ethereum following the speech. Now that the case is almost over and institutional momentum is growing, XRP is rapidly gaining traction. XRP appears to have a bright future. Deaton claims that ETH fumbled the bag, but he does not claim that ETH is dead. They were in the lead, but they concentrated on dumping tokens rather than making the system more usable. Finally, petrol prices are less than a penny, but what the heck? That was done years ago by the majority of more recent chains. Ethereum did not jump ahead, but it did catch up, and you're dying in this place if you're not jumping. Let's take it a step further. You've undoubtedly seen the charts. Target 2, SEPA, Fedwire, Chaps, and more companies are partners or have infrastructure linked to Ripple. These are the worldwide financial plumbing systems. Ripple just requires that all systems have access to XRP. It does not require that all systems run on XRP. I'm sure you've seen the charts. Target 2, SEPA, Fedwire, Chaps, and other organizations are partners or have infrastructure linked to Ripple. These are the worldwide financial plumbing systems. Ripple just requires that all systems have access to XRP. It does not require that all systems run on XRP. That alone might make cross-border settlements easy, quick, and reasonably priced. We're not discussing fantasy here. We are discussing a reality that is gradually becoming available online. What does all of this mean, then? You are not going to cash in a $150 trillion 0 cents trust fund tomorrow. Under your feet, there is potential energy worth $150 trillion 0 cents. Literally. Institutions are flocking like sharks as the SEC reviews scores of applications for XRP ETFs. Another step towards price discovery and maturity was taken with the launch of XRP derivatives. While others are playing catch-up, Ripple is winning the regulatory game because it is already licensed and prepared. Ethereum might have made a mistake in the future, but XRP is there to take advantage of it. This is more significant than cryptocurrency. This concerns who will be in charge of the financial system of the future. Furthermore, XRP is a protocol rather than merely a token. It's a bridge. There is a movement